Hello. So today I don't really want to talk as much about the current astrology. I want to talk about moon cycles. One sec, I'm taking a look at the current chart right now. I really want to talk about moon cycles because I feel like a lot of people talk about them, but it has made a lot more sense to me lately. But there's also some current astrology stuff. So let's get that out of the way first. So astrologically speaking, Venus has just moved into Aries, just like Mercury has. So when Mercury and Venus that were both in Pisces before are both in Aries, it can create a lot more dynamism in terms of your love affairs and how you're expressing your sexuality and everything related to Venus, but also with your language. So there's going to be a lot more fire energy in the cosmos. And it kind of does well with the change in weather, right? We're completely out of this Pisces season. We're really moving. We're actually, just moved into Taurus sun. So this is kind of an interesting energy where we have these two, Mercury and Venus that have just moved into Aries. So we have that Aries energy that's still remaining. But then the sun has just moved into Taurus yesterday. So aside from that, we're still dealing with all the heavy karma from like the nodes with the Saturn and Pluto and South Node together, which is like just going to be a theme for this whole year. We're gonna have to live with it. There's gonna be lots of karmic lessons, lots of like the Leo ascendant always has to have his hair looking good, but it's just not working for me these days. Anyways, so that's just gonna be a big theme. It was more intense like a week ago because the sun was squaring it, but now it's becoming a lot more relaxed. But here's what's happening today astrologically. The sun, today and tomorrow, the sun is on Uranus. What's Uranus about? Uranus is about change. It's about being different. It's about being individualistic and deviating from the norm and really individualizing in an eccentric, non-normal way. So when Sun is in Taurus, we move out of this Aries energy, this fiery time, this like boom, it's spring, I'm happy because Pisces was so depressing. And then Taurus is like, let's just chill, let's just take it easy, let's chill a little bit before we get into crazy Gemini. But when it's on Uranus, which is going to be for the next few days, there's still that energy of explosiveness. It's like thunderbolt energy. Like it's times where you can kind of like be. And Uranus is just opposite the moon during the full moon, so Uranus is playing a key role right now, which Uranus leads to events like sun. It's like the archetype of like thunderbolt events, things that just like happen, right? And with that Aries energy that's still there, there's still totally that tendency. So where's the moon at? Moon's in Scorpio, but it's just ending. So moon in Scorpio is a time of deep, deep introspection. We kind of move away from this real intense period of, it kind of pushes us really deep within ourselves into our shadows. So the last few days have probably been kind of like that, kind of like very intense emotionally overall, especially with all the other changes that are happening with all the karmic stuff. It's going to be really interesting in the coming lunar cycles when the moon is in Capricorn, especially later Capricorn, on that Venus, on that Saturn Pluto node area. I need to make sure to make a note to myself to really let people know when that's happening, because that's going to be a time where the moon, which is moving so fast, will be triggering those events. I imagine it will be in 5 days or so, something like that. I'll let y'all know. But basically, moon moving into Sag very soon, next few hours. So moon in Sag with all the Aries energy and with all that explosive Taurus energy, which once the Taurus moves away from the Uranus, it's going to become a way more chill, laid back, kind of Taurusy, secure, earthy kind of feel, but not at the start, not when it's right there. The Sagittarius moon kind of creates this energy of like wanting to go explore, wanting to go out in the world and figure things out for yourself and find new philosophies and do something like adventure, go hiking, go do sports. Like it's very extroverted energy, right? It's all about going out and finding things that then you can subscribe to. Like people who have Sagittarius like myself and my moon, like the Sag is all about going out, being extroverted, going and finding things, finding different things that you can like travel through books, through actual travel, and then from all that information you gain, then creating a grand life philosophy. So Sorry, I have a lot of coffee energy today. It's not just the Sag energy, which hasn't happened yet because we're still in Scorpio. But essentially, with everything that's going on, yeah, we're kind of moving into this. It's going to be a few days of probably like explosiveness and still like coming back from that full moon. But that leads me into my next topic, which is kind of about full moon cycles. It's going to be a lot more obvious to some people than others, but really, the first, like when you have a new moon, right? When the moon is new, that's really the time until the full moon where there's more yang masculine energy. So many people talk about setting intentions and how you can use the energy in the moon to manifest things in your life. So let's say you're like, okay, I want to make this thing happen for my business. I want to like do this external thing or whatever. I want to like quit smoking, or I want to blah, 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 whatever intention it is, I want to find my like wife, or I want to, whatever. So you would set that intention during the new moon. Then in that first phase until the full moon, you would be doing active masculine yang energies to try to manifest it, right? So you might like have ceremonies. You might like actually like be doing the necessary steps. There's different articles that talk about like kind of how you want to do it with like the other cycles of the moon, like the gibbous and the waning and all that, or crescent, whatever. But basically, like the first until the full moon, that's when it's in that like very masculine phase where it's all about doing and manifesting. Then when there's a full moon, that's when you really sit with it. You kind of acknowledge it, and it's almost like you've manifested it, but that's like the perfect time to like really do things like sign contracts and like actually do like the full most important thing linked to that intention, Like if it's like about like a love thing, like actually asking the girl out, or if it's like a business thing, like actually signing the contract. And then after that, for the next few weeks until the next new moon, it's the feminine yin phase. So you don't forget the intention you set. You don't forget like the alchemy of everything. You basically, it's more passive. You still you still think about it. It's still on your mind. You still maybe meditate on it. You still feel gratitude. Still maybe, I don't know if people do ceremonies. I don't, but maybe I will start doing some type of my own. I will never do anything that is not like from me. But yeah, it's something that I hear a lot of people do that is successful. So yeah, and then you kind of have more of like a appreciation, gratitude, and you don't like let it go at the full moon. You still keep it until the next new moon, which then you have your new intention. You do whatever ceremony or whatever you do, meditation to like set that intention. That's kind of how you keep going forward, working with the lunar cycles. So on an energetic perspective, when there's a full moon, I felt this so strongly the other day, you're able to have more of an understanding of the difference between your natal sun, your natal moon. I'm going to speak about myself. Why not? I'm a Leo ascendant, Sag moon. I have a Pisces sun and a Sag moon, and I felt it so strongly on the full moon day, whatever day that was it Friday? Like I could feel like the Pisces side of me, like that introverted, like want to stay home, want to be spiritual, want to blah, 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 like go within. And then I could totally feel that like Sag side, which mixed with the Leo rising kind of makes fire overpower water in my chart. Which is all about like outwardly going out and experiencing life, like meeting people, taking risks, like going to different places, like really it's less about like staying in. And I could really feel that because the moon was opposite the sun, and that's when you're able to have that polarization. But when there's a new moon, the two are together, so you almost feel this sense of like oneness, like where it's hard to really distinguish, which is why you're more whole. You're more or less like the masculine and feminine are kind of melted together as one, as a conjunction. Like if you had a moon-sun conjunction in your natal chart. So that's the time where you can kind of like really feel into like you as one, and that's why it's so good for creating, for like having like coming up with like what you really want. And then in that time going towards the full moon, that's when you manifest it. Anyways, this is just something that I've kind of like thought was interesting. I know it might be like obvious to some people, but others maybe not. And maybe this can teach you something, and maybe you'll start to use lunar cycles in order to manifest the things you want in your life. And yeah. Anyways, enjoy. Happy Easter to people who celebrate that. And I'm gonna say in Romanian, pa pa pa, la revedere, la revedere.